Hello and welcome back to Frona Friend News of the Ambassadors of Gaming. I'm one of your two hosts, Ambassador Chris.
And I'm Ambassador Michael.
And Mike has very, very, very blonde hair.
Yeah.
We also have news about stuff. So if you can avoid just staring at Mike's hair, it'll help. You see, we're going to be talking about news and they're just going to go hair.
Like, I can't see. It's so bright.
It is bright. It's brighter than my future.
Oh my god. That got real dark real quick.
Ah, my goodness. Okay. So we've got gaming news as usual. Mike, why don't you go ahead and
Indeed.
kick us off?
Alright, so first up on the dock is Sony filed some new trademarks, and one of them is recent, one of them is a little bit older. Neither one has specifics to it, but it does have classifications. So the first one is just titled V. So that
We're not sure if that's just the character. We're not sure whether
Yeah.
it's supposed to represent a Roman numeral 5 or if it is just a capital
Yeah.
V.
For all we
Not
know,
sure.
it could be the PlayStation 5. It could be a new Vita iteration. It could be an app. It could be a new service that they're offering.
Could be a
So-
chainsaw wielded by your grandmother.
We
no
don't
one
know.
knows.
We don't know. It's not specific in its classification, so we don't know what it is. And the other title that they trademarked was Sleepwalker. And they filed that on the 12th of December last year. And then they filed V on March 20th this year. So, but Sleepwalker sounds, unless it's a code name
Michael
for...
froze on my screen.
Sorry. Unless Sleepwalker is a...
He's still frozen on my screen.
You can't hear me, can you? God damn it.
Michael, if you are saying something, you are lagging so bad that I cannot hear you.
I blame the internet.
Oh, I heard swearing.
I blame the internet.
Now I hear nothing.
Listen to me, damn it.
It was working fine for the last 20 minutes we were talking, but as soon as
As soon as I hit record, it's got to fuck my day up.
Okay. Well, your connection is really choppy on my end, so we're going to see if I can function. So, I would say Sleepwalker kind of sounds like an indie title, but since it was trademarked by Sony, that obviously would not be indie.
Mm-mm.
So,
It's probably a new IP.
okay. So, Ubisoft, moving on, if we may. There's not really much to talk about that aside from just a new patent. Or not patent, but new trademark. So Ubisoft asks Uplay subscribers how they feel about them developing games for the Switch. They're basically going to be holding an online discussion. And I personally I like that. Like, they are going as far down to earth as you possibly can. They are quite literally knocking on your door and saying, "Hey, we're Ubisoft and we make games. Do you own a Nintendo Switch? If you do, would you like to play any games that we would possibly make on the Nintendo Switch?"
Exactly. Or what kind of games you would want to see on the Switch. I'm sorry, I have to adjust the camera again.
You're fine.
Yeah, that's pretty much the quote for it. But they also are going to compensate for these people who are taking part in the discussions. So it's not just, random, it is a survey of random people, but then they're narrowing it down to specific people for demographics, things like that, and then those people will be compensated. So,
Yeah.
but that's interesting to see because we were talking about this a little bit earlier before we recorded. Ubisoft's one of the only developers really that got fucked over by Wii U, because they tried multiple times to try to make games on Wii U and they just didn't have success there. So
They made the games, but they made some games, but they just weren't really all that. They weren't worth the time and money that were put into making them.
Exactly. So they were upset about it. So hopefully we can see them turn the tides and come back.
I mean, we talked about this a little bit earlier about if games came out for both the PlayStation and the Xbox, and that also came out on the Switch, and we were talking about what you would be willing to give up to play a game on the Switch, because obviously the game is most likely going to have to be dumbed down.
Exactly.
If it's to play on the Switch, because the Switch's hardware is nowhere even I remember those crazy NX rumors when it was still called the NX, talking about, yeah, it's going to be just as powerful as the Xbox One and
Yeah, and the
PS4.
PS4, and we're like, yeah, that's not happening. There's no
Hey,
way in
but
hell.
but I was wrong about one thing. They did keep a March release date. I
Yeah,
called that they were not, and they did.
yeah.
So good,
Most of
good
us
on you.
didn't think they were coming out with that March release date, but they're like, you know what? We have to put out Zelda, so fuck it. We're putting
Yeah.
it out now. So
Yeah. So, I mean, for certain games like Skyrim or like a lot of RPGs, I would so play that on the Switch. That
exactly.
seems like a perfect game to live on the Switch. RPGs and Mike, you said indie games.
Yeah, I think where it's gonna struggle is when they try to put online games onto it, games that are online focused. You know what I mean? Not just games that have online.
We need to see how the internet's going to be. I have
Yeah,
not used any of the internet yet
I don't.
because I've only been playing Breath of the Wild.
I'm unsure how many games have online multiplayer now.
Well, there's a Splatoon 2 demo.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's out this weekend, I think.
Yeah. So that'll test the online.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm sure there'll be reports coming in all weekend telling us whether or not they're shit. So, you know,
Brace yourselves.
yeah, exactly.
Um, so, yeah. So, moving on. I have an itch in my ear. Whew. Okay, we're good. Michael.
Okay, dokie. More Ubisoft news. This is For Honor related though. So the
It's a cool
developers
game.
behind For Honor recently explained why it takes so long for people to unlock items for their characters. So I'm gonna read this. This is a quote from Gamatsu. Players Player criticisms about the grind-heavy nature of For Honor, namely recent complaints that it would take 2.5 years or $732 to unlock all the customizations, have weighed on the team. So
That
they
is outrageous.
responded, yeah, it is kind of ridiculous, but listen to what the director has to say and their logic behind it before you make a judgment. So, Damien Keegan, I think is how you would pronounce that. He stated on their weekly live stream, what we forecasted is that most players would play 1 to 3 characters, and that's what we really see today in our game. Most players focus on one character, one hero, and others go up to 2 or 3 heroes. All the design is based around that, end quote. He went on to say, quote, we never anticipated players who would want to unlock everything in the game. That's because that's how not how the game is used or played today by our players. What we've done in the progression design is that we focused on unlocking the gameplay content first. That's why you get all the feats before Reputation 1. It's 5 hours of play per hero, because it's in those first 5 hours you know, do I like this hero or not? End quote.
So, to wrap that up in a nice, pretty bow, you are not supposed to get everything for everything.
No, it's meant for you to have 1 or 2, maybe 3 at most main characters. Most people pick one main character and that's it. You look at fighting games, most people only main one character. You look at Overwatch, most people only main one character. There are people that do others, but you know, that's the general consensus with the average player.
Yeah.
So,
So, I mean, I do understand for those people that do like to 100% everything.
yeah, I can understand that too. I'm a little bit of a completionist, but not generally.
Not generally for me either. I am not a completionist. Let's see. So now, that was all of the major news, and now we're just gonna go ahead and move on to Flash news.
Indeed.
Did you like Mighty Number Nine?
Probably not. But if you've seen anything about Bloodstained, it is the sequel, the quote unquote sequel to Symphony of the Night. And it got pushed back. It was supposed to come out this year. It's not supposed to come out till next year now, which is fine because, as we saw with Mighty Number 9, maybe they need to work on some things.
Yeah.
So they have also decided to cancel the Wii U version of the game and instead bring it to the Switch instead. And I'm not mad about that at all. I'm totally cool with that. It sucks for people that own a Wii U and not a Switch. If you specifically only own a Wii U, that sucks for you. I will agree there. But
The
I'm
majority
not
of
mad
the
about it.
people that I know do not have a Wii U. And it's not
Exactly.
even because they have a Switch. They got a Wii U, and this is the story I talked to a lot of people about.
Mm-hmm.
They got a Wii U when it came out because the Wii was so great.
Yeah.
And they got the Wii U when it came out, and then they just no one like it went unplayed, so people just sold it. Like no one has
Yeah.
it, and then if they went and bought the Switch, that's one thing. But I do not believe we have many people who own a Wii U and not a Switch.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I don't believe you have that much, unless you're like a really little kid and your parents got you a Wii U.
Exactly. The thing with the Wii U is
At that point, yeah.
you know,
Go ahead.
mostly everybody knows, but the Wii U just piggybacked off of the success of the Wii, because the Wii was accessible to everybody. You know, they have Wii Bowling and family friendly kind of games, and it was very easy to
Wii
understand.
Sports was fun.
Yeah,
Wii
exactly.
Sports was really fun,
Wii
and that
Sports.
that came in the box.
Yeah, and it's still considered one of the best games, and also one of the highest selling games. Wii Sports sold a lot of copies, so
Well, Wii Sports came with the Wii.
not all versions of the Wii.
It didn't? I
No,
thought it always came with the Wii. The one we got,
no,
huh,
because
we got.
there was ones with Mario, new Super Mario Bros. Instead of Wii Sports. So there were different bundles that came out that didn't include it. So it still sold relatively well, even for a packing game.
We got one of the first bundles that Christmas when it came out. Mom and Dad got us one, and that
Mm.
one came bundled with Wii Sports.
Yeah, Wii Sports is awesome.
Wii Sports is so fun, especially boxing.
Yeah,
That's why I'm really pumped up for ARMS. I am really excited for ARMS. Especially, that's a game where you'll really be able to test how good those motion controls will be. And judging by the look on your face, you are skeptical and want to say something.
no,
So please.
yes and no. You get a taste of that. I have 1-2 Switch. I did test it out a bit with some friends, and there's a boxing game in 1-2 Switch too, and it registers pretty well, because it's very specific. The boxing game is straight, uppercut, hooks, so it can register the difference between you throwing your hand straight, curving it sideways, or curving it up, so it knows what you're doing. I'm not skeptical of the reaction to it. I'm skeptical of the sales. It like if it works exactly how it's supposed to, it's gonna be amazing. People are gonna love it. So, but I want to get off the Switch. We talk about the Switch all the time. I've had enough of the Switch. So we'll move
I've
on.
already finished Breath of the Wild, so I have also gotten my fill of Switch right now. So we're gonna go ahead and move on. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure Microsoft already announced this for theirs, right?
For
They
the
already,
360. Is
yeah,
it what you're talking about? Yeah, the 360 died last year.
yeah. And when we say died, it means that new ones are no longer in production. That's what we mean
Exactly.
by died. The console is still relatively supported,
Yeah.
sort of. Um, if games, but no, yeah.
Yeah. No
Just if,
new
when they
games are
stop
really coming to it.
producing the game, yeah. When they
So
stop making the console is when we refer to it dying.
yeah,
Okay, so PS3 production is going to be ending soon.
at least in
Oh
Japan.
no! Oh
Which is
no!
fine. The Japanese website, I went and read it because this is where it's stated specifically, is on the Japanese website. So maybe they're not ending production for America, but I assume they're going to, because most of their production's done in the same place. And the Japanese website states in quotes, "schedule completion coming soon," meaning that they're going to cancel, or not cancel, but put it to rest, which is fine because the PS3 and the 360 had the longest life cycles of any systems.
Didn't beat the PS2.
That's true, but the PS2 had a long tail only because it was the PS2. The PS2
Dude,
didn't stop until what,
the
2012?
the last game that came out, I
Was
believe,
FIFA.
was FIFA 2014,
Oh
and
yeah,
that came out for the PS4.
yeah, that's insane. The PS2 has the longest life ever. That thing is
Yeah, it
insane.
holds a record for having
Yeah,
the longest life. And when they say life, they mean when games are coming out for it,
yeah.
like new games, and that's incredible.
So I mean that's probably fine because most people by now have a PS4 or an Xbox, and we're on living our lives. And if you don't, and for some reason still want to buy a PS3 brand new, I'm sorry for you, I guess.
Get one soon if you want to buy it brand
Yeah,
new. If you want one for like some sort of collection
but
of
to be fair,
gaming hardware.
this is only the production of the last models of Slims. So it's
Yeah.
not like the first run or the second run of Slims. It's the grill ones, I think. So, um, and then that's it for that. And then I got one more thing for Rocket League. This one's actually interesting. So,
I love Rocket League.
so strap in for a second because this is a tale.
Strap in.
So this is from GameSpot. I specifically am quoting them because they got the story originally and they have all the sources there. So I want to give them credit where credit is due. So I can't pronounce this, but I'm going to attempt to. Unicron. It's a platform that lets you bet real money on competitive gaming matches. Announced that Rocket League is joining its lineup in Australia. Now, Psyonix VP of Publishing Jeremy Dunham told GameSpot, quote, Psyonix is not affiliated with Unicron, nor do we support or endorse online betting for our game, end quote. This is quoting GameSpot's article. Unicron said in its announcement today that Rocket League was approved by regulators in Australia to have the game available for real money betting in the platform's sportsbook in that country. Australia and the UK are the two regions worldwide that offer real money gaming betting through Unicron, though the company made no announcement about the UK for Rocket League. So it is legal in the UK and Australia to do that. It's illegal in the US, I believe. Now, the Unicron CEO, Rahul Sood, I think is how you would pronounce it. I hope I didn't botch his name. Told GameSpot in an email, quote, we are not in any way associated with the publishers of Rocket League. However, we love the game, and like other titles on our sportsbook, we create odds and content on the pro matches and their top-tier tournaments, unquote. So that's the whole story. Now, I don't see necessarily anything wrong with it, as long as, Psyonix is like, we don't support it, but there's nothing we can do about it. And they're like, as long as they're not doing the thing where the YouTube guys were doing, where they're using children and stuff like that for it, I'm cool with. Like, if it's consenting adults and they're like, yeah, I want to bet on this, like, that's fine. That's, it's your money. You're allowed to do what you want with it.
I don't have a problem with that either. I understand though, because gambling is very. I don't know how it is in other countries, but gambling here is very hush hush, because there are a lot of people that get into gambling problems
Exactly.
who can't stop gambling.
It's a serious
and so
addiction.
It is a. I don't know how it is in other countries, but here it is pretty bad. To the point where in every single ad you hear for a casino, they say at the end, "Hey, if you have trouble gambling, call this number for help." Like,
and you even see billboards for it, and you see radio advertisements for it, even without the casino ad in front of it.
Yeah,
it's a serious problem. So as long as you're responsible and take care of yourself, albeit too, if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. As long as this doesn't turn into a situation where children are getting caught up in it, then it's going to be an issue.
Dude, I could totally see myself betting on a pro Rocket League match.
Oh my god, I would too. Like, it's so interesting. Rocket League's one of the few games that I find interesting to watch as much as I do play, because interesting stuff actually happens. So.
Yeah, it's literally like watching a soccer game. Do you
Exactly.
like watching soccer? If you do, watch competitive Rocket League, like real deal Rocket League, not us like amateur hour playing, but go watch some professional players.
Players, yeah, it's almost incredible. Like, so that should be interesting. Hopefully, I don't have to read a story in 2 weeks about how they're caught up in a child gambling ring, because that'd be real bad. So.
Oh my gosh, that'd be terrible.
We've had to do that twice already on here. Twice we've had to talk about child gambling. I don't want to talk about it anymore. It's sad. It fucked up. Stop doing that.
Okay. With that, that's gonna sum it up for this episode. Try and check us out at least once a week. Once a week. Am I Mario?
Once a week. It's me.
Stop.
Copyright infringement.
Stop. Try and check us out at least once a week. That's how often we try and do this. We usually upload or record on Wednesdays, try to have it uploaded by Thursdays. Right, Michael?
Indeed. That is when I try to get it up. Damn it. I knew if you didn't say anything, I was going to have to.
I wasn't going to say it. I was going to let it go. And you're just like, damn it. Okay, anyway, I'm Ambassador Chris.
And I am Ambassador Michael.
And we'll see you next time.
Goodbye.
Mike.